Hello Scorpio, this is Joe and I'm going to do your July 2020 General Tarot reading. This is an intuitive reading. It won't be for everybody. With that said, check back again if this doesn't resonate with you for another video. Or as an alternative, check out some other readers here on YouTube. There are so many fantastic ones. And you'll know if this is for you. It'll fit with you. It'll make sense. And you'll feel it. But this is a general reading, and it could be about any subject, any topic. It really just depends on what comes through in the cards. So we're going to get started. I'm going to try and get right into it and not waste your time. So, Nine of Cups is the overall circumstance or theme for July, Scorpio. And we have several more cards to pull, so we're going to, Ten of Cups. We're going to get right through to pulling the cards and then get into the reading. You have Queen of Swords. This is nice so far. I kind of like this. Let's see. What do we get? Two of Coins. Very cool. This is going to be a good reading. I like this. Three of Coins. So you got a lot of progression in this reading, which is interesting. That's kind of what it feels like. Methodical progression. Eight of Wands. All right, that is in your advice. And your influences. What's influencing you? Queen of Cups. Ace of Wands. Hopes and fears. And finally the outcome, and then we need to see what's crossing you. What's your challenge? The Magician is the outcome, which is very, very cool. And what is crossing you? What is your challenge? Eight of Swords. Okay. Very interesting. So it's like your own worst enemy sometimes. Bottom of the deck. Eight of Cups. So what's most interesting to me in this reading, Scorpio, is the two cards that you would maybe interpret as being negative or potentially negative are the Eight of Cups and then the Eight of Swords. So I find that kind of interesting, and I want to talk about this first because the Eight of Swords, this is like a feeling of being afraid to take a step, take action, and being afraid to take something on. You might feel like you can't do whatever it is you want to do. This reading shows that you have like very big hopes, dreams, and desires. And then you have the Eight of Cups in the overall, which I think is almost like the twin to the Eight of Swords. So I think that really in July, your biggest obstacle with these two cards is overcoming like a new way of thinking. That's kind of how I see this, because you might be thinking that whatever you're trying to accomplish this month, whatever you're going after, and it's not just in July, but this is in June, going into July, and even into August, whatever it is that you are trying to take on, to me it almost feels like you might think that it's too big for you, it's too unrealistic, too good to be true, a pipe dream, something like that. So whatever it is that you are kind of conjuring up here ahead of you, and even right now, you might have a lot of self-doubt. You might have a lot of moments, a lot of moments where you kind of pause and you think to yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing? This is bigger than me. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. I'm afraid that I'm not going to be good enough. I'm afraid I'm not going to be smart enough. So there is a lot of feeling of, this not being able to take on what it is you're going after. And so you might be feeling like you've started something and you might not be able to finish it. But that's the overall feeling I get in this. So your biggest challenge in July is internal. It is your thoughts and your feelings, negative kind of thinking, self-doubt, self-limiting beliefs is the big thing. So I do see this as you have a very interesting and kind of abundant future ahead of you. And you have an objective and a reason behind doing what you're doing. So I'm going to take what's crossing you and set it here with Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups, so we can talk about the rest of this. The first thing I want to say is you have the Nine of Cups, you have the Wish card. This is like the theme of July. You're working toward your wish, your desire, your dream. You're working toward a very big, lofty goal, and that is the big picture in July, and it's something that you have to work at. It's something that is going to take a lot of your time and energy, but there's a big reason behind doing what you're doing, and that is because of stability, your family. You're doing this not just for yourself, but you have a feeling or a desire to take care of your family, leave a legacy behind at some point down the road when you're no longer around. So you're really trying to build something big for your future. And this could be, this Ten of Cups could be, this is in your subconscious kind of shadowy place in your mind, in your heart, in your feelings. This is kind of behind the scenes, where you're not always, aware of, but there's this drive to leave a legacy. There's this drive to leave something lasting and almost eternal to those that are left behind when one day you are no longer here. So you have a very big dream, a very big desire of creating this long-lasting stability. And so you do have this this kind of feeling like, am I taking on too much? Is the American dream gone? Or wherever you are living in the world, does this no longer exist? Are these days over with where somebody can start out with nothing and make something very big of themselves, Scorpio? So this is kind of what it feels like. So going into July, coming from June, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles here, to me, is something about twofold. This is twofold choices. Making a choice, and whatever change you're making may be difficult. You may be stepping away from a career, a job, or an opportunity to pursue this. And so in the short term, this might tighten up your finances. It might tighten up your time and your availability to those that are closest to you. So this could, Two of Coins could be about choices. It could also be, and I think it's twofold, about the ability to take on many things, to multitask. And to do that, you are probably somebody that is good under pressure. And so here in this area with the Queen of Swords, you're able to operate with a clear mind, a clear train of thought, under pressure, able to multitask, able to take things on under a certain level of stress. But you do have these moments of doubt and fear that you might just be dreaming too big, but you're not, because you have a lot of really good cards here coming ahead of you. You have the Three of Coins, and so this is the perfect description of what is ahead of you in your near future. And this is hard work. This is drive and determination, creativity. This is, again, working towards something that one day brings a long-lasting legacy for you. It brings not only a legacy for you, but for if you have children or other family members. So this is something very big. You may be going into business. You may have finished university or graduate school, maybe some of you, but whatever it is that you are taking on, it is going to consume a lot of your time. It is going to consume a lot of your resources. So you might have to make choices and decisions about what you're going to put down and what you're going to continue to juggle and maneuver around to keep the ebb and flow of life kind of going, so that you can kind of take on this challenge without succumbing to your kind of doubts and worries, and feel like you might want to give up, or you just might think you've bitten off more than you can chew. But that's not the case. You have several good cards here ahead of you, and we're going to run through these real quick, and I'm not going to go on too long in this reading. I don't even feel like I really need to clarify a whole lot, because it comes out like very clearly. You have the Three of Coins, Three of Pentacles here in your near future. This, like I said, this is all about work, but this isn't work that you're doing alone. This is working with people in your business, your trade, your career, or whatever. This is collaborating. This is taking on new work, new jobs, new contracts, new ideas, and turning them into something that becomes profitable down the road. And it's not something that you realize the benefits of right away, but it is nonetheless something that comes in over time with that hard work. But this also, if you're married, you may be working very closely with your spouse on this, or you might just be working closely with your spouse on trying to maintain the whole picture. The Ten of Cups again, the whole picture, the family, the home, the family unit, the home, and the work, the career, all the other things that come with life, having children, being married. If you're single, you may be looking at some point down the road where you want to leave a legacy, an inheritance, something tangible for those that one day, if you do have children, that it's there. It's a nest egg. It's more than a nest egg, but it's like a long-lasting kind of resource that is available and there for your family. So I think this is very cool. You have a very good overall reading here. But now we get into the advice, and the Eight of Wands, to me here, this is saying just to move forward without, almost, I don't want to say impulsively, or in a way that is foolish, but this is saying to move forward without hesitation. Your plan is good. Your plan is solid. Your plan here is one that's well thought out. It's not unrealistic. It's not an overly lofty goal. It is something that is achievable over the long term. So this is saying in the advice, go for it, move forward, don't delay. This is the time to take on exactly what it is that you are really desiring to take on at this time in your life. You have the Queen of Cups in your influences. So this is what's influencing you in your environment. This could be, we talked about if you have a family, this could be a spouse. Somebody that is very emotionally supportive, shares your vision and your dream and your desires, that is there for you to give you that moral support, give you encouragement, to give you creative ideas, suggestions. Somebody that shares exactly what it is that you share. If you are not married and you may have just a significant other that might represent this, Queen of Cups might represent that. If not, if you're single and you are not in a relationship or anything like that, this could be a business partner. This could be somebody else in your life that is influencing you. And additionally, this could just be an influence in the realm of the unseen. We all have support in the spirit realm and a lot of times that support kind of comes in ways that we really don't recognize. It could be a thought, it could be an intuition, it could be a burst of determination out of nowhere. So whatever this influence is in July, it's there to support you, it's there to uplift you, and it's there to hold you up and to share in your dreams, your desires, and your vision for your future. Now you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands here is in your hopes and fears. I think this again, okay, so ace always represents a one. A one always represents a new start, a new idea. This is a card of action, so this is a new first step. But this is, again, this card can sometimes be about legacy and inheritances. It could also be just represents that first start, the first step of many as you move through this new stage in your life. And the Ace of Wands, you know, is more represents your hopes. I think we've already talked about your fears here, and I don't think we need to go into that any further. But I think this represents your biggest desire, your biggest hope is just to get things rolling, to take that big first step. You've planned, maybe you've planned and you've planned, or maybe you've thought out and done a lot of research, or maybe you just know exactly what you want to do, and you just need to take that first step, that first risk, in a sense. And I think this here just represents that what you're hoping for, what it is you really want to do, and to overcome any fears you have, to put your plan into action, to just start taking that first step and move forward. Now, in the outcome, okay, the Magician. So the Magician is like the perfect combination. I like to put the Magician this way sometimes, and when I read cards intuitively first, and then I kind of take the general meaning of that card and I kind of merge them together. But to me, the Magician in here is really kind of saying you got the four elements of creation at your disposal. You have earth, air, fire, and water. So you have a very good balance at your disposal, and this balance is almost kind of like a supernatural feeling. Like I said, you're being supported and guided, and so you have intuition that seems to come out of nowhere. You have thoughts or good ideas that may be seeming to come out of nowhere, or you have just bursts of energy, of drive and ambition. So this is all what that Magician is about to me in this reading. This Magician also represents the being able to almost will things in a sense. This is like, it's not even manifestation, it's just being able to like assert your will and dominance and dominion over your life, and in a sense kind of magically align things in your life to bring good things out, what it is that you really are working toward. But the Magician here, he doesn't have to really dig deep or look near and far for what it is he needs to conjure up in his life. He has everything right there at his disposal, and so he's a very wise and very learned person, and so this kind of represents you going forward. And this is, again, to me, this is a long-term plan, this is a long-term thing, but this is a start of something very, very good long-term for you. So Scorpio, that's going to end the reading. We're going to pull one or maybe two of these. I think July is fantastic. This is the best reading I've seen in some time, and I think it's great. I think this is really cool. I'm a little jelly, you know, if I have to, you know, I always say don't be envious, don't be jealous, but be inspired. And so if anything, this is an inspiring spread. It's an inspiring reading, and I do like it very much. So let's pull one or two of these. Round and round. So, you know, if you've ever been on a merry-go-round, sometimes we see it spinning, and we take a chance and we try and jump on and latch on when we can. But then when we get on and we want off, it's like that hesitation of jumping off. So you are kind of like in this energy of waiting to just kind of jump off that merry-go-round. You've been on it for a while, and you might be hesitating to take that leap of faith, to jump off, because you might be afraid of where you're going to land, and if you land where you want, is it going to be on your own 2 feet? So this kind of, to me, ties in with the 8 of Cups and the 8 of Swords, but we're going to pull one more, and I think you just have to jump. You know, I think you just have to take that leap of faith. You have the never-ending story. I think we're going to have to pull one more, because I think you've been in this like energy for a long time, and you like I forget what movie that is, but it's I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And I think this is almost you snapping, and you finally have gotten to this point where you've boiled over and you said, damn it, I'm going to take control of my life, my destiny. I'm tired of the same old. If you're tired of being sick and tired, it's time to change something, because if you don't change something, things never change. I don't know if that made sense to you, but that's a little ramble there. And blessed. Okay, I'm going to take that, because that's eventually where things, I mean, you're blessed now, but in the end, in the big picture, when you finally do arrive with that 10 of Cups, or maybe that World card comes out in your future down the road, this is that feeling of blessing, but that blessing is now. That blessing starts now, and it extends. It's a legacy, and I think you do have a very good reading, Scorpio. I think, again, it just kind of makes me feel like don't be envious or jealous, but be inspired, and this is a reading that should inspire you. So with that said, I want you to have a good day. I want you to really just think about this. I hope it resonates with you. Leave me a thumbs up. Let me know if it does, if this fits with you, if this is you, if this is your story, if this is you in a nutshell right now. Leave a comment, let me know, and if you want to hear more from me, of course, make sure and subscribe so you get notifications, and I will talk to you again later. Thank you.